All right, Instagram, I am back. I started earlier today talking about daily rituals. This is something that I often get asked, and I had to go because someone arrived. So I'm a bit of a non-ritual person, but there is a couple of things that I do on a regular basis. And by the way, I also wanted to mention that I am committing to go live on a regular basis, almost daily. However, I am going to be going live on my personal Facebook page, Jin Ong, in my free Facebook group, The Art of Listening to Your Body, and also on Instagram. And I can't actually repurpose these lives across the different platforms. So if you want to get insights into different things, then you can follow me on all those different places. So diving into daily rituals, people, I think, often look at others and go, well, what do you do to live the life that you have? And so a lot of people say to me, well, what rituals can I do? What things do you do on a regular basis that help you that I could use in my day? And I think there are so many self-care, there are so many affirmations, mantras, and things that you could do. And if you did all of them, your day would be pretty full and you wouldn't have time to do anything else. So I like to embrace more flexibility and adaptability. And whenever I am answering this question, I encourage people to listen to their intuition. What feels right for them to do on a regular basis? And does it have to be daily? Because I talk a lot about feminine and masculine energetics, and I find that some people get very masculine about their daily rituals, their self-care routine, and it becomes, I must wake up at 5 a.m. and I must drink my lemon water, and I have to take my pills, and I have to go and exercise, and I must meditate for 20 minutes, and they have to wake up 3 hours earlier than what they actually want to fit all of these things in. And it becomes this big checklist of stuff to do. And it feels like a little bit like OCD. If I don't tick all of these things off my self-care ritual routine list, then my day will not be set up. So if you feel that you have to do things for your day to be a certain way, then you've kind of lost the flow and the flexibility, because there are definitely things that happen that will take you by surprise. And I think it's important to have room and space for these things or challenges that might happen, but also have the space for the opportunities to come in too. So the first thing with daily rituals is not to get too regimented, too masculine, and too hard on yourself that you must do this for your life to look a certain way. And really listen to your intuition as to, well, does this thing that's been suggested actually feel really good for me to do? Because as I said, there are so many different things that you could do out there. There are many different things I could do out there, but I'm all about creating space and saying no to a lot of things. So I'll go into what I actually do on a regular basis, and I definitely don't beat myself up if I miss a day. The other thing is feel into the resistance and just check in, because sometimes if you're really busy and you're quite stressed and you're trying to implement self-care to relieve your stress, you might not be able to tap into your intuition if something actually feels right. So sometimes resistance shows up to something that has been suggested because it doesn't feel right. And other times it's because it's the thing that could lead you to the life or the day that you desire to have. And in that case, I say, well, if you're at a bit of a loss, make time and give this thing a go. Give it a go for a couple of weeks or a month or however long suggested, and see how it feels. If you get glimpses of, oh yeah, I enjoy doing this, then keep on going. And if you create the evidence that this thing is supporting you in a good way, then keep on going. But if it is just pushing uphill day after day and you're just doing this ritual and you really don't look forward to it, then the energy in embracing in whatever this thing might be, it's not great. It's not great to have the feelings of, oh God, I've got to do this thing and I really don't want to. Now, I'm not getting specific about anything because there are so many things out there, because they do work for some people. So I, at a time, had meditated every day, twice a day, for an hour at a time. I had learnt Vipassana meditation, and it was really amazing. And then I stopped when my daughter was 6 months old, and I've just never picked it up again. I also realised that I was putting myself under pressure that I must meditate twice a day for 1 hour, the way that Vipassana teaches you. And actually, a minute or 5 minutes was better than nothing at all. However, meditation has come and gone out of my life, and I'm more of a fan of all the emotional processing work, which is what I teach. But I also love a lot around intentions and manifestations and really creating the life that I desire and sharing this work with other people. And we're halfway through this vision workshop where I ran some live calls. It's open for another couple of weeks, and it's just really cool, the stuff that is happening in there. And it is using some masculine, right, I'm going to do this task. So one thing that I would do on now a yearly basis, I used to do it every quarter or every 3 months, is I would revise what my core values are. I would work out what do I feel my strengths and skills are based on experiences that I've had. What is it that I desire my life to look like in 7 years? This has been a really good marker for me because my life has completely turned around in 7 years based on this exercise that I started 7 years ago. And what is the legacy that I want to leave? And this is something that we did in the vision workshop. But those are things that I do every year, and this is what my January is about. And I can't say that I really look forward to doing that ritual. I know it's not a daily ritual, it's a yearly thing, but I will get to why I'm sharing that. I can't say I look forward to doing this exercise with myself every year, but I have created the evidence that it is so powerful to do this work. And I see my clients, what they put intention into and what they are able to create, not immediately, maybe weeks, maybe months, sometimes years or several years down the track, but the power of setting intentions, because it's a bit of a reflective process and sometimes that can be a little bit painful. So that's why, I don't particularly look forward to it. However, what comes out of the other side of doing this work is just so powerful. Love this. Okay, great. I'm glad that you're getting a lot out of this. So that's where I say, feel into the resistance and sometimes give things a go. And I have to say, doing that exercise, it took about 3 years for me to realize how powerful it was. So I did it, and then 3 years later, I hadn't revisited it. But a lot of those things that I put into motion 3 years prior started to manifest, and I was like, oh my gosh. So now I started doing it every quarter, and then now that I'm pretty settled, even though things continue to evolve and I don't know what this year is going to look like, if I have any big changes, I will do that again. But off the back of that, this is where my daily ritual is coming in, and I would say that this is probably the only thing that I do, is because I know the bigger picture of what I desire to create in 7 years, or even like broken down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. I do set monthly. They started off as goals, and now they are more intentions. And a big part of this is not setting too big a goal in a month where you end up at the end of the month and you're disappointed because you haven't achieved the thing. So writing goals or intentions, because goals is very masculine. It's like, I will achieve this by the end of the month. It's taken me ages to refine this process, but every month I do like to start at the start of the month. I write out my goals and intentions for that month because I already know what my bigger picture looks like. And when you actually put your intentions out there, you can all of a sudden, if you write them and especially if you speak them out loud and share them, you get clearer about what your smaller action steps are that you need to take to set you on that path that you desire. So when I know my bigger picture, I know what needs to happen in a month for me to focus on to just keep on evolving and creating what it is I desire. So I always share in my groups about the 7 life areas. So I will set goals and intentions around health, family and relationships, business, career, finances, growth, or education, social, which is like friendships, and then spiritual. And I shared with one of my groups my social and my spiritual goals, which pretty much have been the same for the last 18 months, because these are things that will tend to drop off if my mind gets busy and distracted. I've also had to learn that I am only to set one goal and intention under each per month. Next month is another month. If I didn't get that, maybe I reflect and refine it, or I think, well, that goal or intention wasn't actually it didn't really mean that much to me, so let me set it again. And my daily ritual, finally I'm getting to it, is that every morning, as soon as I wake up, I read this. And it just sets the tone for my day, and it refocuses me as to, okay, this is all I know that I need to work on to be able to create what it is I intend. So I do store them on my phone because I like a lot of digital stuff, and I find it very easy to just edit my goals, my intentions, and they are written in a way as if I already have them. I read them, I try and speak them out loud. If ever I'm having difficulty going to sleep, I will imagine myself verbalizing and thinking about these goals, which is a really nice way to go to sleep, that being the last thing on my mind, instead of any daily stresses that might happen. But it's the first thing that I read when I wake up. And yes, it is on my phone. I got over the fact that I would be looking at my phone first thing in the morning, because it only takes me a few minutes to run through them and maybe speak them out loud. So I am big on verbalizing things. I teach this with emotional processing because there's a vibration to it. When you hear yourself say stuff, you kind of have these realizations. And now it only takes me every month, the first of the month, maybe a few minutes to actually rewrite what my goals are, because I've done it over and over again. And I've learnt to scale them back. And once they became really achievable, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this all happened in the month, then I would stretch my goals, my intentions for the month a little bit further. And I would challenge myself to what my nervous system could handle. So I also sometimes, I'll be like a day or two off. Sometimes I'll be ready for my next month's goal a couple of days before the first of the month. Other times it'll be the second or the third before I actually write my goals in, and that's absolutely fine. Also, if I achieve a goal within a week, I just keep it there. I don't go and add in another one. So it's that whole thing, go slow, go fast. And this is definitely something for me. I try and do a million things at once, and in this last 6 months I have really scaled back and cut back a lot of things. And my context for 2022, which is also written at the top of my goals that I read every day, is my context for 2022 is to express even more about this work. Now that all of my focus is on the art of listening to your body, I'm going all in with it. It's to express, and it's also to create spaciousness whilst I do this. So right now I'm not 100% clear how that's going to happen, but January is like my declutter mode. I've got a table over here, I've got some planners, I've done my worksheets to reflect and just set my intentions for the next several years, and they might evolve, and that's absolutely fine. But yes, I know that when I create space, I'm able to download and create amazing things that I can offer out there. So daily rituals, sometimes, very, very rarely for this exercise will I miss it, but this is an exercise that means so much to me, that has shown me so much evidence as to what it can create. And that's probably about all I do. The rest of it, it's flexible. Do I feel into it? Does it resonate? Do I want to do it? And then I'll go and do it. And I definitely don't try and fill my day up with self-care and routines that I have to do and tick off, because that kind of takes out of that feminine space and it puts you more in the masculine of doing and ticking off the list. So if you want to get into some daily rituals, do ones that feel right for you. Tune into your intuition. If you feel like your intuition's not there because you've just got so much going on in your mind, then give things a go and see if it makes a change, but give them a chance as well. Give them more than just a few days. Do it for a couple of weeks. Do it for a month. And if it's not feeling great, then stop doing it. You always want your energy to come from a place of, I desire to do this. I know it's good for me. And I know I feel better afterwards. So that's my take on daily rituals. Be flexible, be adaptable, keep trying new things because you are evolving every day.